All right, y'all, sit down, lie down, squat down, but I'm back. Bell tells. Wanted just to remind you, don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell, please. Please. Click the bell for bell. Okay. Sorry, my nerdy moment. So, Friday, I told y'all that I was going to tell you a story about my grandmother and my belly ring. So, I'm going to give you a real quick cap, kind of how I grew up, brief kind of cap. Just, we grew up in a very strict household. There was no cussing in the house, no movies over PG-13. Music couldn't have any slurs or sexual content, anything of that nature. So when I hit 18, I went through a rebellious stage right after I graduated high school. And I wanted to kind of do everything that I wasn't supposed to do. Which wasn't really good. But I think all teenagers kind of go through that phase where you're testing your boundaries, you're figuring out what you want, who you are, kind of deal. So I packed up and moved shortly after graduation, and I moved in and had a roommate. And that's when I started smoking cigarettes, drinking. I was never promiscuous, so I didn't really do, but I was partying a lot, and she and I, after a couple months, kind of had a falling out, so I packed up and moved and called my grandma, and she said, come on. So I went out and lived with my grandma and grandpa for a little bit at this point, and there was a guy I was seeing at the time, and he was older. 22, 23, I think, and I was 18. He was a bad boy, kind of a rebel, and he talked me into getting a belly ring. And I debated on it because at that time those were really big, and I wasn't allowed to wear a two-piece bathing suit. And so when I obviously moved out, I had a two-piece, and so he was like, you'd look really, really good with the belly ring and that two-piece bathing suit. So I was like, let's do it. And he tried to get me to get a tattoo, but those of y'all that know me personally know that I have a fear of needles. I hate needles. But then again, I had to have a needle for the belly ring, but I think it was because it was just one time, not the constant tap, tap, tap with the needle. And I was, kind of cocky back then. And that was back when everything was, tight and in the right spots. Before I got older. And I just looked at him and I said, you want me to get a tattoo? Listen, would you put a bumper sticker on a Bentley? No. You ain't putting a tat on me. So he talked me into getting the belly ring. So I did. I thought I had it hit. So one day, I went to go to work. I got up, did my normal routine, and I was going to work, and I noticed all my cigarette butts had been dumped out in front of my driver's door. And I don't know why I thought I was going to hide it, but I started kicking them underneath the car. I didn't think it through because when you leave, the cigarette butts are right there. And that night I got home and my grandfather spoke to me and he said, listen, I know you're going through a little rebellious phase. I get it. I went through it, but darling, you're not going to tear up your body. It's not happening. You're my granddaughter, and I'm not going to let you tear your body up. Stop smoking those cigarettes. And I just looked at him and I said, how did you know? And he goes, what, you think because I'm older I didn't catch on to anything? I mean, come on. He said, you just run reruns. I mean, I did all this already. You're just doing reruns. So I thought about what he said, and it kind of stuck in my mind. And so then a few days later, my grandmother had bought me a shirt, and she goes, I want you to try this on. I was like, well, okay, give me a minute. I just got home. Okay. So she was waiting me out, and I just could tell by the way she was reacting and how she was behaving. I was like, she knows something I don't know. Like, I'm not catching on to what she's doing. So she kept on about this shirt, and I was like, all right, I'll go try it on. Well, so as I grabbed the shirt, and as I'm walking into the bathroom, I can feel her on my heels, and I'm like, what is she up to? Like, I just knew she was up to something. So she walks in the bathroom with me, and she's like, go ahead and try the shirt on. Okay. So I turn around to where my back's to her, and I take my shirt off, and I start to put the new shirt on, and she's like, turn around. And I said, oh, let me get the shirt on, because, she said, you have changed in front of me before. I have changed you as a child. Why don't you show me what's on your belly? I knew right then and there she knew. And I just stood there for a second like, crap. How did she figure this out? So I hurried up. I thought I was slick. Hurried up and put the shirt on. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, let me see your belly button. So I raised the shirt up to where you thought you saw it, but you didn't. She said, Amanda, show me what's on your belly. And I looked at her and I said, I know you know. Let's stop playing the games. So I showed her the belly ring. And my grandmother was adamant that you did not mark your body. Your body was a temple. You were to treat it as a temple. You were to treat your body with respect. You don't loan your body out to multiple partners. She was just adamant that you just have respect for your body. So I had marked my body. And I'll never forget her reaction. She goes, my God, you have marked your body, child. What possessed you to do something that's stupid? I said, well, I wanted to do it. My whole life, everybody has told me, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, I'm grown now. I'll do what I want. She said, yeah, you are grown. But I've taught you better. And you have marked your body. Well, the smarty pants in me, because I've always kind of had a little bit of a smarty mouth. Oh, I shouldn't have said this. But I looked at her and I go, that ain't the only thing that's been marked lately. She didn't find it funny. She got really mad. Oh, she got so mad at me. Oh, man. Grandma was like, do you think that's funny? Do you think those kind of jokes are funny? Yeah, I kind of do. She goes, you get that belly ring out of your body right now. I said, no. Amanda, you get to the count of 3 to get that out of your body. And I looked at, I knew she wasn't going to take it out or anything. But I looked at her and I went, and I said, no. She goes, okay, play it your way. That's fine. But that ring will come out of your body within 7 days. It will be gone. I was like, okay. And so I went on about my business. Didn't think anything of it. Y'all, 3 days later, it started itching really bad. And I was like, why is this thing so itchy? On the 5th day, it had gotten infected. It got infected so bad, I had no choice but to take it out because I had to clean it and it was gross, so gross. So I had to take it out. And I threw it away. And I came running out of the bathroom after I cleaned it and all that stuff. And I looked at my grandmother. And my grandfather was sitting in the chair. And he was just kind of like taken back because I come running out of the bathroom and I went up to my grandmother and I went, "You cursed it. That's what you did. You cursed my belly ring and I always wanted one and now you've ruined everything." And she goes, "I didn't curse it, but I told you it's going to come out." And she goes, "Would you like for me to make you some lunch?" And I said, "No, I don't want you to make me any food after that thing rotted out of my body." She didn't say nothing. She just smiled at me. And I was like, "I don't find this funny." I was so mad. God, I was so mad. She thought it was funny. I did not. I left, went to work, didn't eat all day. I was starving by the time I got home. And she was waiting up on me, like she always did. And she said, "Are you hungry?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm hungry." She warmed me up a plate of food. And as I was sitting there eating it, she goes, "You gonna get another belly ring?" I said, "No. I'm scared what'll happen next. I mean, what, is half my stomach gonna rot out? God forbid. No, I'm scared." And she just laughed. And she looked at me and said, "I know you're going through a phase right now. All teenagers do. And one day you'll have your own. And they'll go through their phase. And all you can do is just love them and be there for them. And hope they take to your wisdom and knowledge that you've learned over the years." But she said, "You know, you were created the way you were. And you're perfect the way you are. So don't mark your body. Because you are my granddaughter and I love you. And you are beautiful the way you are. Don't ever do anything to alter who you are or mark yourself again." And with that, she just kissed me on my forehead and told me she loved me. And I told her I loved her too. And she went on and got ready for bed. And I just finished up eating and went on to bed that night. But that is Grandma and my belly ring. And, you know, I still, even though I did a lot better this time, I still get a little emotional talking about her because I miss her. And I miss that feeling of just that unconditional love. Even though I was being a turd and being a little smarty pants and a bit disrespectful, she never put me down. She never degraded me. She actually made me realize that I was worth way more than I was even giving my own self credit for. And I miss that. I truly miss that. And maybe one day, you know, who knows? But I had it once in my lifetime to know that I was loved unconditionally. But that's it. That's Grandma on the belly ring. All right, y'all. I'm going to close it out. Please and thank yous are a must. Smile never hurt no one. Be cognizant of the things you say and how you say them, because kindness is always priceless. Bye-bye.